We are indeed honored to have with us a very special guest today, and it is none other than Nurgul Dzhanaeva, President of the Forum of Women's NGOs of Kyrgyzstan. Apart from strengthening capacity of women's organizations in her country, Nurgul has more than 2 decades of experience in promoting women's political, economic, and sexual and reproductive health rights and advocacy against violence against women. Welcome, Nurul. We are really honored to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be with you.
Nurgul, what has changed over these years in the areas you work?
Actually, there are a lot of changes, but something still there. Something seriously changed. For example, there is a big, good process of improvement of legislation in many of our countries. But there are some changes that are not positive. For example, growing impact of religious fundamentalism, which is limiting women's rights. So changes are quite, some are expected, some are unexpected.
The positive ones, more on the positive ones first, then we will come.
Okay, so women's impact on the legislation was serious, not only in Kyrgyzstan, but all over the world. Apart from this, I think women's groups were able to strengthen their own organizations. We have, and as you see in Chiang, strong connections between diverse regional groups, Central Asia, East Asia, South Asia, North Asia, etc., etc. So this is a very good, people are in solidarity, people learn from each other, and they share their expertise. What is good also, we have not only strong networks and strong movements, but also we have quite a lot of very mature, very strong experts in many areas of women's rights, of sustainable development.
Okay. Nurgul, in today's context of rising religious fundamentalism, which we see all across the region, imperialism, militarism, and patriarchy, what new strategies and tools do feminist movements need to move to what we call a feminist world order? And what is that feminist world order according to you? And what are the tools we need now to counteract the forces, or will that remain a dream?
Let me just, I will remind myself, 100 years ago, voting right and being in the parliament was a dream for women. So I think it is good to have dreams and struggle for dreams. So let's consider something, a feminist just world order, as a dream, but some dream which is in our hands that we can manage. For me, feminist world order means justice for everyone, world based on equality, on sustainable principles, effective, fruitful, and bringing conditions for enjoying all human rights for every human being, regardless gender, race, ethnicity, and all other factors that differ us.
What are the tools we need to reach there now? How do we counter the current world order and the current what we call corporate capture, which is...
I like your question. What strategies do we need? When we talk about us, we are very diverse. We have, I don't want to say old feminists.
No. We will never be old. We are the young ones.
But we have feminists who were already in struggle many, many years, and we have new generation. And those strategies that were used by the generations that brought changes are still working. For example, advocacy for legal changes. We need it, we need to continue. Raising awareness, bringing services to needed people, etc., etc. So we need to use all those strategies, but we also need to transfer to younger generation all our expertise, knowledge, attitudes, and I think that we should use some opportunities that Sustainable Development Framework is providing. I'm talking about, for example, connecting political struggle with financial. For example, we reached not in the best way, but in a quite progressively, there are some changes in legal norms. But unfortunately, in many of our countries, financing these laws, implementation of these laws, are still very low. We have legislation telling we provide you equality, but there is no money to support this equality. And I think now it's time to use the concept, not the concept, to use means of implementations to change budget. Now to attack the budget, to require budget, to formulate our budgetary needs, to speak about money for women's rights, for women's world, for justice, from this practical and quite ideological.
Yes. Nurgul, you have rightly believed in going from global to local to empower women and girls to achieve gender equality. How can forums like APFF contribute to integrating that, particularly SDG 5, which talks of gender equality, into local sustainable development strategies and targets?
Such forums played, and I'm sure will play, a significant role in advancing partnership between women's organizations. And partnerships is key. We partner with ourselves, we partner with local authorities, we partner with government, we together struggle for our common goals. And I think there are different level of and different types of women's organizations. Somebody working on very practical, needed things like how to provide shelter. Somebody is working how to advocate for legislation at the global level. They all are extremely needed, but this knowledge should be shared. Those who are working, for example, on violence, domestic violence against women in the shelter, for them it is very beneficial to know that there is a work going on to ensure that governments, private business, is allocating money for such shelters, for women's needs. So these forums provide networking opportunities, sharing expertise, capacity building, and bringing confidence to women that we are going in the right direction, that we are strong. If we doubt, we regain confidence. And I think such forums provide this opportunity to not only share, provide, but also to take and be stronger. For local, such forums are important because I remember one of our activists from rural area, when she was with us going to New York, and she thought, look, these women have the same problems as we. In my village, and she is coming here, and she was surprised. She thought something is different. A lot of things are so common. So that actually, I was watching her activism, and we were interacting with each other. And now she is working so effectively to localize, for example, SDG Goal number 5, to increase women's political participation, to decrease violence. And that's and being in a very local setting, she is making reference, it's a global commitment, it's a global issue.
Yes. So Actually, that is where we need to reach, that local level you are talking of. That is important, to carry the message, what we learn here at the forum, to take it to that level, because that is and I agree with you, Nurgul, because the more dialogues we have, because I have spoken to women over small maybe YouTube videos, and I've got replies like, well, and from rural areas, from hilly and rural areas of India, that how could you get the courage of saying that in an open forum? We also believe in what you are saying, but we did not have the courage because.
And confidence.
Yes, and confidence, because we did not know that there are other people who are also thinking the same way. So that is important, I think. Yes.
I totally agree with you. The whole sense of organizing such events
Yes.
is to support local,
Yes.
because the whole global world is a combination of small global places.
Yes.
And we are coming somewhere just in order to get something to bring in our places.
Yes, and as you said, for that the woman you were talking of, the problems are the same. Means even earlier I used to think that, of course, in Asia we have certain specific problems of the global south. But once I was talking to some women, I think it was at the airport or somewhere in some meeting, and many of the problems, particularly of that patriarchal setup, even though Western women, they were also feeling that, and they said it is not very different in our society. So then, like, you feel you are united in a cause and from different spheres of life.
Absolutely.
And, Nurgul, anything else you would like to share, or any message you would like to give to we women and we feminists? I think feminism is a good word to talk of.
Maybe only one thing.
Yes.
It would be great to continue to be brave. Be brave. Take responsibility. Because nobody will give us this opportunity to take responsibility and decide our own lives.
Yes. So we have to take it.
We have to take it. Nobody gives us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nurgul, for your time. And it is always such a pleasure meeting you and speaking with you. You know, it fills us with energy.
Thank you.
Thank
It's a
you.
big pleasure and honor.
Thank you.